Borhues Adonai Hamvarach.
It has a warmth feeling that when you walk in here, and that makes you just feel very, very homey.
Asher bochar banu mikol ha'amim.
And this has been my spiritual home for a long, long time. It's near and dear to my heart.
Bonosan lanu est Toraso.
I can't think of being Jewish and not thinking of Temple Aaron.
The Rubin family has called Trinidad's Temple Aaron home for 70 years.
I was awed. I came from Albuquerque, New Mexico. They made me feel so at home that I never went back to Albuquerque.
For Catherine's son, Ron, growing up attending Temple Aaron shaped his faith.
Being isolated in a small Jewish community in a small town, it did strengthen my Jewishness, I think. And at the time, I didn't realize it.
Also at that time, he didn't realize the importance of Temple Aaron to Colorado and the entire Southwest.
I had no idea that this was unique.
Temple Aaron is the oldest continually operating synagogue in Colorado. Some believe it's the oldest west of the Mississippi. Its roots go back to the westward expansion.
The first Jewish merchant came about 1865.
European settlers followed the railroad west as it pushed along the old Santa Fe Trail.
By 1875, there were a goodly number of Jewish merchants, and of course, it eventually formed Congregation Aaron.
Before long, that congregation bought a plot of land on a hill near the courthouse and built their permanent temple.
The architects were Bolger and Rapp, of course, who were very famous architects in this area of Colorado, New Mexico, and it was dedicated in 1889.
From the earliest days, the temple served the entire community through outreach programs.
Music, talks that were very impressive. We'd have as many as 100 non-Jewish people in attendance.
Over the years, the Jewish population of Trinidad dwindled as members moved to larger cities. More recently, upkeep on the century-old structure has largely depleted the endowment set up for its continued maintenance.
There is very, very little money and very few Jews.
That led the congregation last year to make the heartbreaking decision to close its doors.
It's difficult for me to talk about it without becoming emotional.
It's a hole in your heart and a hole in your spiritual life.
This is the first time I haven't seen my son Ron weep.
This was the first year we haven't had our Jewish high holiday services. This year, 2016, since 1889, there had always been a service here.
127 years of community service ended with a for sale sign.
It was a decision we put off because it was an emotional thing, and it still is.
The task now, finding a buyer who will honor the legacy of the building.
The Jewish congregation and their influence here is a part of our history, and it would be a big chunk out of Trinidad to have them gone.
An historic easement will protect the building from being torn down. And the temple's place in history has attracted the attention of outside Jewish community groups.
We're just always interested in seeing that the Jewish history of Colorado, which predates Colorado becoming a state, is maintained.
Temple members have many ideas for future uses.
Come here and study and get away from the large cities and appreciate the wilderness that we have around Trinidad.
It would be nice to see it as a sacred space, kept this way. That's up to the new owners.
To find those new owners, they hope to draw on the sense of a broader community, which the temple has symbolized all along.
If there's a good story and a good vision of how this building can be preserved and help enrich the ongoing history here in Colorado, we may be able to bring in some funds.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam voed.
And if the congregation's prayers are answered, Temple Aaron's service to Trinidad will continue for generations to come.
Everyone just feels very welcome here, and it's contagious. It's not just a place that you open and close. It's a wonderful, wonderful place.
Nosein HaTorah.